Hi, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon everyone. Welcome to the KLESF 2020, the Future of Drone session. And together with, I'm Farhan by the way, I'm from MDEC, a drone tech team. And together with me, we have Mr. William from Mudas. William, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks Farhan. Welcome everyone. My name is William Elvis. I'm the secretary of Mudas. Mudas is Malaysia Unmanned, Malaysia UAV Drone Activist Society, and we've been doing lots and lots of programs actually for education purposes to get kids excited and also involved in making drones. Flying drones, piloting drones, because as the title says, the future of drones is now.
Exactly.
And I hope we can reach out to the parents as well.
Yes,
to let them know that this is the time where you got to get your kids initiated in 4.0 IR, and it's so important to prepare them for the future of the careers that we have afterwards we'll show you.
Yes, definitely. I think there's a lot of good programs that we have for you today, and we hope parents out there and kids at home, tune in, because it's not just gonna be all dry content information, because together with us we're gonna have some good freebies as well. So make sure you stay tuned, listen to all the session information that's going to be shared by our panelists today, Mr. William, and then we're going to have some session later going to be shared by Mr. Adam Lukman as well as Mr. Adrian Chai, and then there's questions at the end of the session that you are going to answer for you to win these prizes today.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Yes.
Just to add on, you have to watch and learn
listen.
and listen.
You have to listen
because
carefully.
There will be some answers peppered during the hour. So we won't release the questionnaire only after the session has ended at 3:30. Then we will post the links in our Facebook, STEM for All Facebook page, and then you can actually go through the questions, answer the questions. You have until noon tomorrow, and we will announce the winners tomorrow evening after 4:30 p.m.
Exactly. So stay tuned. It's just going to be a very brief 45 minutes. And before we go there, I would just like to share, what MDEC and the whole of the drone tech ecosystem in Malaysia is doing as well. Because I think I've been working together with Mudas, working together with the whole drone tech ecosystem in Malaysia, trying to push, the career path, the drone technology career pathways for students out there, so that you will have a much better future in this drone industry. And at this point of time, for your information, there's a lot of interesting things that you can do with drones. Yes. And there's a lot of opportunity that you can go in, there's a lot of jobs that you can do in the drone industry, and there's a lot of interesting companies, global technology companies, global drone technology companies that you can work for once you are out there. Yeah. So stay tuned, we'll be sharing more information with you. And I would like to share, I think within the past few months during the MCO, we did this event together with UTM.
Yes.
It's about a drone competition.
That's right.
Been running on webinar.
Yeah.
And 2,400 students all across Malaysia joined the event.
Yes.
And 30 of them actually won, and they got a DJI Telo that they brought home, and then they configure, they program it, and then the top winners got more prizes. So I think next year we want to ensure that those at home know about what the community is doing, and you would be able to get all this interesting stuff as well.
Just to add on there, Farhan, I was part of the jury myself.
Exactly.
And Adam Lokman here. And the interesting thing here is, before that, shout out to Dr. J.
Yes, Dr. J, UTM.
He really did a fantastic job with his team at UTM in Johor to actually garner basically the whole country, 2,400 entries that came in, and they vetted down to 30 entries, which we viewed. And the students that presented, boy, they were really well prepared, and they showed how they programmed the drones, and they demonstrated it via video. And then we had an opportunity to actually interview them and vet it down to the top winners. It was very, very high quality, the amount of entries that did come in, and that's why hopefully in 2021 we can actually roll out more programs, roll out more competitions nationwide through various agencies, universities, and also NGOs, to actually be able to come up with programs that will benefit the kids. When we did, you can see some drones in front here. These are all self-made drones, or what do you call it, DIY drones. So you got to start young, guys. You guys are in primary and secondary schools. It's never too late, but it's never too early either. We have, we worked with MDEC before for My Digital Maker Fair. Shout out to My Digital Maker Fair as well. And what happened was we did ice cream stick drones. You can see this drone over here. This is very interesting. A lot of kids, sometimes when they look at a particular drone like this, they get afraid and they get a bit apprehensive. So what we did was we converted the frame into ice cream sticks. Yes, it's fragile, but the purpose here is for kids to actually learn how to build. We want to break the glass ceiling, and we had I think about 60 workshops in 2 days with the trainers that we had, and the kids were very, very happy. You know, the element of completion there and achievement. And that's what we want to do, break that glass ceiling for them to be able to say that I can do this. And this is something that we have worked with kids as young as 8 years old to be able to actually put this together.
Exactly. I think for students, for teachers, for parents out there, so currently we are streaming to you live from this Stand for All Makerspace in USJ, Daman Mall. So if you are interested, into exploring this kind of activities, do get in touch with William. And I think you can go to Stand for All Makerspace Facebook. There's a lot of information there. And I think for school students especially, I think previously we used to have computer science club, all these kind of clubs. And I engaged this group called the Club Remaja Udara Malaysia. And now they are trying to explore to get all the schools to have these drone clubs in their schools. And I think eventually all the schools in Malaysia will have a drone at their schools.
Right. A shout out to Kram as well. Played over there.
Yes.
So shall I get into my slides before we
begin?
Yeah. I have a slide presentation that I want to show you guys. Just give you an idea of what drones are all about. Maybe we'll go into our slides right now. All right. So I'll just show you a little bit about myself as well. Okay, so Stand for All Makerspace is a hands-on center that we actually collaborated for this session with KLESF, and of course Mike is our benefactor in this instance here. Thank you very much to Mike for making it possible for us to host this session here. So KLESF is something that I'm not I'm not unfamiliar with. We have the session that I did with Mike was in 2015 at KLESF under the My Maker section, where we actually had a bunch of 35 makers, and of course we had drones as well. So jumping down into what we have today, the future of drones. When I say here, the future of drones is actually now. Now is the time for us to get very much involved in it. So again, my name is William, and as you can see from the back slide there, I used to be involved in aerial photography, so I've been in the aviation line for quite some time now. And the graduation into drones was actually something which I naturally came into. This is an aerial photo of Kuala Lumpur taken at a height of 8,000 feet. So those days we used to just open up our helicopter doors and get shots done like this. But right now it's a new frontier, and we come across different kinds of drones. This drone, at the time that this shot was taken, valued about $1 million. So you can have drones that are costing a few $100s to a drone like this, which has the capability of actually doing laser, what we call LiDAR readings for mapping high-end, from very high-end to the various applications that we'll show you afterwards. And of course, Mudas, just to give you an indication of where we're coming from, Mudas is a Malaysia UAV Drones Active Society. We've been around since 2013 and we're actively working towards the development and advancement of the drone industry and the drone community in Malaysia. And of course, our Fly Responsibly in Malaysia, this is our theme that we take very seriously to ensure that all pilots, young or old, are flying well. So let me just drop down to it. What is a drone? People have this circumstance, what is a drone? And I like this kite one. This is actually a viral image that we see, that we're very used to. In 1995, our kids used to actually fly kites, but right now we fly drones. So this is the future. So what are drones actually? Are they things that actually fly in the sky that we don't see? We have the Enterprise there, we have Batman, and we have birds. All right, but this is the meaning of a drone. So a drone, in technological terms, is an unmanned aircraft. Essentially, a drone is an aircraft without a pilot that is controlled by someone remotely. So it's a UAV, it's an unmanned aerial vehicle. And these images you can see here, the beauty of fireworks. Fireworks will be sometime, I would believe, a thing of the past. This is the new version of fireworks, very eco-friendly and actually very, very beautiful. Types of drones. Now I've broken this up into 4 broad sections here. We have the different types or grades of drones. We have toy grade drones, something that you can actually typically buy just off the shelf and have fun with, but then when it breaks, you can't really repair it much. The hobby type drones are the type of drones which actually the enthusiasts will actually get involved in. And this is something that we'll show you a little bit more with Adam and Adrian afterwards. You can, if it breaks, you can actually fix it, and it's a great way of starting your journey towards drones. Prosumer drones are the drones that you can still buy off the shelf, at the same time make money from it. You can start a career from this, and that's very important. Professional drones actually come into play when you have different applications that you can go into, which I'll talk into the second slide after this. Let me talk about the types of drones in terms of the multi-rotors. So you notice that most drones, they actually fly, they have different, configurations in terms of the design. So you can see on the top left there, we have the tricopter, which is it's like a triangle type of thing. Then you have the quadcopter, which is in you have 4 motors, a hexacopter, you have 6 motors, and of course the octocopter, you have 8 motors. Why we have so many different types of drones? Because basically sometimes if you're carrying a different payload, you can actually carry heavier cameras, heavier stuff. So that's why you have that. Secondly, redundancy is something that is important as well. Like say for instance, if it's an octocopter, or if it's if it's an octocopter or hexacopter, if one blade fails, you can actually go back to the other blade. You can actually carry on with lesser blades. All right. So what are the drones used for? We use the word applications, or sometimes we use verticals, right? We use verticals. So primarily you see a lot, I made a very big picture there on delivery, because this will be the next big thing, all right? Yes. So this is something that everyone actually is looking towards. So delivery will be one great aspect in terms of application. Then we go into agriculture, precision agriculture, security and surveillance. It is very important. Also, it does a lot of policing, and of course the normal low-hanging fruit, which is the aerial photography and filming. So these are basically your career choices that you have today. You have a whole range of lists. These are just some of the items that are broadly put out there. But if you see the pictorial there, that's a human transporter. In the future, will be like the Jetsons, where basically you can just jump into a drone and be transported anywhere around. All right. Well, that prior to that, that was all the civil part. But you can actually go into the military option as a career path as well if you want to join the Army or the Navy or the Air Force. Like what you see here, that multi-rotor there, it actually shoots out bullets and it shoots out missiles. and on the one on the left, that's the Arkan, the Turkish drone that I think our RMAF are thinking of purchasing. All right, so you gotta be at a stage where you're thinking, can I turn what I learned as a drone pilot into money, into making a living, into a career? So yes, you can, and the career choices that I showed you just now, these are some things that you can actually start very young, learn as an enthusiast, go into a hobbyist, from a hobbyist become an amateur, then raise your game to being a commercial drone pilot.
Yes.
And right now, with the new rules and regulations that are coming out, we are seeing some firm steps in having, we're talking about licensing, things like that from the authorities. So that's very, 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 very important. So we come to the next segment here, build your own drone. I want to introduce the what do you call it? The next segment where we're talking about actually. Yeah, building your own drone. This is what we did for My Digital Maker Fair, lunch following here. Components of a drone and sharing session on how to assemble a racing drone right now.
Okay, I think before we go there, I just would like to share, because I've been in MDAC, under MDAC, we have been doing this Malaysia drone tech ecosystem initiative. So basically, the purpose of the drone ecosystem initiative is trying to gather all the drone companies, drone ecosystem players, as well as trying to identify, what are the challenges faced by the industry. And one of the most critical and across the board, one of the things that all the drone companies really want are talent.
Yes.
So I'm here trying to share with you, if you want to go into this drone industry, it's not just about being a drone pilot. So I would like to share with you this one slide that our team in MDAC had prepared. Into as well. So if you want to know more, we'll be sharing a link to that one specific slide, which is at www.mdac/mydronetech. So you can go and get more information there. So without further ado, okay, so I'm going to show you this one specific slide, which is about a drone carrier path. So in the drone industry, it's not just about being a drone pilot, because there are global drone companies out there who is currently looking for talents like you guys. But if you want to work for companies like Airworthy, for example, who are currently in 35 over countries in the world, and two of my friends who actually just flew to Chile to work for them, and they're not just they have a drone pilot skill, yes, but aside to that, they have to have a domain expert as well. So if you can share the one slider.
Yeah. And one of them is.
Okay, so the slide that you just saw just now, we will be sharing with you the link for you to refer to, because apparently what we want you to focus on in school is on the subject that is taught in school in science, technology, engineering, and math, because those are the basic things that you need to cover to ensure that you can go into the drone industry and go across the carrier, across verticals, across industries, because drone is gonna be across the board in the future.
Yes, definitely.
Right? So I think we want to go next to our next session. I'm just going to introduce to you our two drone pilots here, Mr. Adam Lukman and Mr. Adrian Chai. So Adam, he's been doing drones since 11 years old. I know. He's been playing with drones for almost 35 over years right now, and he's a professional drone pilot from DroneWorks Malaysia, and he's operating drones for TV, film industry since 2011. And there were a lot of big international and Hollywood films that were filmed in Malaysia, and he is the guy that flies the drone and show the overview picture in those Hollywood films. And I think he does a lot of drone racing in the past, and he organized the biggest Asia drone racing league in 2016-2017, which is the multi-GP drone racing in Malaysia. And I think we want to see if we can bring that back next year in Malaysia. And together with him is Adrian Chai, who is, if you can go to Hobby Gang at Facebook, you can find a lot of drones there. So if you want to buy, if you want to know what they do, you can go to Mr. Adrian Chai's Facebook page. And I want to pass it over to you guys because they have a lot of things to share. So Mr. Adrian and Mr. Adam, over to you.
Hi guys, I'm Adam. This is
Adrian.
Adrian. Okay, so we've got this very
you can
big
look,
range of different type of drones.
Yeah.
You see that most of these are custom built, and they're all FPV drones. So they have little cameras on them. FPV is a first-person view. These drones are all flown basically using these goggles, and this is how we race FPV drones through these goggles, first-person view. So the whole excitement and feeling you get is actually as if you are actually flying in a real aircraft, because the camera is right there.
What is the speed for that?
Range of these drones, basically one of these drones weighs about 800 grams with a battery all fully loaded, up to 800 grams. All right, each motor is putting out about 1.5 kgs of thrust.
So how far can
you're talking about 6 kilograms of thrust of an 800 gram model. That's a lot. So like high-end racing drones can hit a top speed of about 160 kilometers to 180 kilometers an hour. That fast.
So a lot of like a newbie will come in and will ask, this one, how far you can fly, and what is the range limit that you can go?
Yeah. So of course our regulations are stated for general hobby use. Also, we are limited to 400 feet altitude above ground level, AGL above ground level, 400 feet, and then range always within line of sight. So how that works with us flying FPV is we normally assign a spotter. So even though we are flying through the goggles, which is not line of sight, we have an assistant or a spotter with us, next to us, to always have our drone in line of sight. Yeah. So these are according to the laws and regulations.
Some also will be using a FPV monitor.
Yeah.
You have to have a spotter as well. Okay, so
all right. So going back to basically. FPV drones, custom drones, they only just recently been able to buy pretty much off the shelf from factories now. They're starting to sell complete units only recently, but that's only a very few. Most of us still prefer to mix and match parts according to I think, like on your side you have a lot of customers also who have their bills based on their budgets. So we can basically build a custom FPV drone for you based on the budget that you have, which are mixed up from all these components. So everything is an individual item. The frame is separate, the motors are separate. We have then speed controllers for the motors, and then we need a flight controller, which is the most important thing, which actually controls the drone.
Yeah.
And then we have
This is a sample of a flight controller. Okay, basically what we call is a CPU or the brain of one drone, right? Okay, so after this, we'll be using electronic speed controller. Okay, this one what we call short form is a ESC. There is a two type. One you see, this one is a 4-in-1, which is a 4 ESC in one electronic board, or the traditional one will be this one, the separate. Okay. What you can see, there is a 4 inside here. Okay, and this one is a pre-solder, okay, into one flight controller here. Okay, so this is a sample, just a sample to show to everyone here. Okay, to let more understanding about DIY drone, because a lot of customer or what we call is a newbie pilots, they still misunderstanding about drone. Okay, they're thinking that I online purchase 50 ringgit or anything, then I want to go race. Okay, when we ask also, they say I buy this thing or I budget 300 ringgit, then I want 110 km/h speed. Okay, this is the common issue that we're facing, right? I believe yourself also facing the same things. Yeah. Okay, so and here we just go through a very fast one. Okay, what is the basic things that in every drone? Okay, whatever, no matter you are racing drone.
Okay, so we'll show the difference. Okay, so we have about 4 different type of categories for our FPV drones. Okay, racing drones. If you see, okay, we'll go with our traditional. Okay, so these now are used as freestyle drones. So basically, we do freestyle aerobatics, all right, to showcase things, and we fly around obstacles and whatnot. It feels cool. It's similar kind of freestyle feeling you get from skating or stuff like that. So if you see these, these are designed with the battery being on top, because center of gravity is different, so that makes it handle differently. All right, it doesn't need such fast moves or turning. It actually needs to be a lot smoother for cinematic freestyle moves. Okay, moving on to racing drones have actually started going into this direction, where the batteries are on the bottom of the drone, so it has a low center of gravity. This now helps the drones to actually turn a lot faster around the turns on the track. All right, and then we have our, these are slightly bigger, so this is 6-inch 6-inch drone. So 5-inch is what we use for most of our professional racing. 6-inch, 7 and above, normally we use, these are actually long range drones. So we use these to fly further, longer distance. Not so much about speed, but endurance. So longer flight times. And then moving on to these are something new, and we've actually started using these a lot for filming, because in the past these were too dangerous because the props are open, all right, and they cause a lot of injuries. So we came out with these designs now. They're called Cine Wolf. So they have shrouds, fan shrouds, covering the shrouds for protection, so they can actually bump into a person or bump into a wall. They fly very slow and meant for cinema style kind of filming. For interior specialized filming shots, we use these. So these are called Cine Wolves. These are different. All right, and then another good thing craze now for very small indoor racing areas, we've got these. These are called Tiny Wolves. So technology is already at this level now where you know, this is what, 2.5 inches?
No, it is only 31 mm.
31 mm size of drone, and which this has a camera, it has a receiver, it has a video transmitter, and it's flown off FPV. We even have HD version ones, which also have a camera in here, which can actually record in HD also. Yeah, so there's all this range, and it's good now for starting off. You know, you can get one of these starting off for about less than 300 ringgit. You know, to start off
for non-HD.
For non-HD, for basic. So there's a price range now for everyone, especially for starting levels. You know, all the way up to pros. Yeah. So basic components are all the same. All the drones, whether small, big, they all run off basically the same components. It's just the small ones are shrunken in size, so they go on to micro scale. So you have micro medium and then large systems.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you wanna go back again to the hardware.
Okay. Yeah. So for the hardware wise, okay, no matter you are from smallest, okay, smaller size, 65 mm, until 10-inch or biggest one, for the commercial also, they have a same parts that they need. Okay. So first will be the flight controller. Okay. Of course, if you use on the bigger one, the flight controller size will be different. Okay, according to the their
Size of the frame.
Yeah, size of the frame and also the usage. Okay. So secondly will be the ESC, what we call is the electronic speed controller. Okay. Then the third things will be the motor. Okay, what we call is a brushless motor. Okay, brushless motor will be depends on your usage. Like this one, the freestyle normally they will use like lower kV. Okay, and this is the high kV. High kV normally is used on racing drone. Okay, so the fourth one will be the propeller. Okay, as you can see here. Okay, and for the
going back this about the motors.
Yeah.
So basically these are what type of motors are these, Ajay?
this one is
From what we know in the past on motors, so new technology now has brought us towards brushless motors.
yeah,
Right.
brushless motor. What we say there is waterproof. Okay, you can if you if you fly in a raining day. Okay, of course your motor can use, but your electronic is not. Okay, don't misunderstand. Okay, because a lot of customer also asking, you have any drone that we can fly in raining day? Okay, so when they go to fly, there is a trouble. Okay.
Yeah,
If
but
you-
traditionally, I mean,
Yeah.
brushless motors are of course a lot more durable.
Yeah.
Than traditional brushless motors. They can have a lot more load put on them.
Okay, so you can
so-
see this a big difference. Okay, this is
Yeah.
the big motor and this one small motor, right? Okay, so one thing before I forgot, normally this one maybe will be out of topic of hardware, but it's a common question that people will ask. If you find drone, they're scared that they were getting spy.
Okay.
Okay, so you are the pilot, so you will come to spy me at my residential area. Is it this one can be the things that happen
Using what?
using drone?
Traditional drone,
Yeah.
yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
Of course.
But normally what I answer will be this is the good thinking that maybe how to say, it's a logic way. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So we just make clear lah. We just make clear. Okay. Drone is not to do any illegal things. Okay. We just make clear of that.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
either professional. I mean,
Yeah,
hobbies
yeah.
using it for their
Yeah,
for their
yeah.
own good, using it for sports and events,
Yeah.
and basically recreational
Yeah.
use.
So you can see here, actually they have a few drones. Okay, they will be based on each application. Okay, like this one, what we call is a 10-inch drone. Okay, they come with GPS. Okay, so if let's say they are using for long range purpose, anything happen, they can one press button.
Yeah, going back to
call
that
back.
now. Yeah. So now our FPV drones. In the past, no, they were all kind of fully manual, but with the update in new flight controllers and systems, we are now able to put GPS modules on our custom-made drones. We also have different types of software which we can use also for programming this GPS system. So you have traditional. We run what now INAF basically for our long range, long flight, and then we run beta flight, which is another different software we use for our racing drones.
Yep.
So difference in those, basically for racing and freestyle drones, use beta flight. The GPS just works only as a rescue unit. So if you to lose control with it, it will come back to a range where you can regain control and then land manually. So the other one is I think more towards similar to commercial drones within systems, so they can actually be programmed and they will land themselves. It can also be set waypoints, like the higher end systems.
maybe here we can go through some this build up for your drone racing. Okay, maybe we can show to here. Okay, this is the motor. So motor will be connected to this electronic speed controller.
Yeah.
Okay, so from speed controller they will connected to either it's a power distribution board or go to the flight controller there directly.
So now the newer systems are all a lot built into one board. So things are getting smaller and smaller now, and they're able to squeeze more electronics into each board. So some already have power distribution board already embedded in the flight controller.
Yeah, like this one, what we call is a flight controller built in with the power distribution board. So the electronic speed controller just connected to the flight controller, then you can save one layer space. But this one, I think it's about 2 or 3 years technology ago, and the latest one will be one piece of board only. Okay, so this one will be the built-in flight controller and the electronic speed controller as well. Okay, and this thing is to power up the drone. Okay, this is the cable, so means that you can power up, you just power up like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because of the high amp ratings that our batteries put out on LiPo, we're actually using LiPo batteries, which are lithium polymer batteries. Because of the high output rating that we have, we don't actually have on and off switches on this. They're all just direct current, right?
Yeah. So you have to make sure all your things is.
That's also to have less points of failure. So they are very robust. They're built from frames are built from carbon fiber, and then you see there's a lot of covering and aluminium, what we call it, standing posts, which make it very strong. So these regularly crash at a regular basis, and usually the only things we need to replace are the propellers. Yeah, so it's quite, once you've invested in it, your normal practice and usage is quite cheap on
low maintenance.
I would say low maintenance, affordable. Compared to if you crash a DJI drone, it's always in the minimum of hundreds and or maybe thousands. Or this might just cost you a set of props, and what are propellers? Cost of propellers now.
Of course, this
5-inch
one
props are only about.
also is a good design. It's done by Stand for All. Okay, this is a 3D printed. Overall, I think the weight is quite light. Okay, and they copy like the normal one. Okay, only thing is the material is using 3D printed.
Yeah,
right?
so it's a bit heavier than our carbon fiber, but surprisingly it's not bad, pretty good, and still quite durable.
I mean,
we should test and do a crash test.
This one need to ask for Mr. William.
Adam, Chai, so we got a few questions from our viewers live on YouTube right now.
Okay.
So I think most of them want to know, since most of you guys are seniors already, so right now if they are in primary school, secondary school, how can they go into learning, how to become a drone racer, for example?
Well, that's why we're going back to basics also and hardware, because most of us Is there somewhere they can go, they can learn? Is there a club?
Yes, they can come to Stand for All here.
Yeah.
They are looking for Mr. William. So Mr. William here, they have a class or lesson, to go in for this drone racing class.
So we'll be following up with this within this next coming year with courses for school level students for this.
Due to the pandemic, you can see everything is a new normal. So what we want to do is to have more online classes, more sessions that we can actually have maybe on Google Meet and set up sessions for kids, because there is a great interest in it.
Exactly.
And if we can't get you here, then we'll have to go to you, and the only way to do it is via online. And we can actually have more of Adam and Mr. Adrian here to actually go into the intricacies of actually building a drone step by step. Due to the time today, we're unable to actually take you through step by step, But that's what we actually want to do for
Before we go, Adam, I think you manage a few groups of drone racers, right?
Yeah.
And they've been competing all over the world. You know,
Yes.
What kind of age range are they from?
Our range of our pilots actually been very vast. They start off from like we had 11 years old all the way up to 40 years old. You know,
Good.
but
12-year-old girl.
you know, we had
Exactly.
we had an Asian champion in our league competing also, which she's also been competing in Europe also over the past last year.
Yes.
You know, and she was only, how old was she?
12.
12.
Yeah.
You know, from Thailand, a girl from Thailand, yeah, and she was just
Yes. So
very,
I think
very talented,
even
trained
at,
at a very young age. Yeah.
yes, even at my housing area in Cyberjaya, I can see that in nearby an empty land, nearby this lake, I can see some cars setting up their drone racing arc. You can see people
Gates,
flying there. But I think because at this point of time, because drones they fly all over. We just need to make sure that you make sure that there's not too crowded area when you are operating in, which later maybe Mr. William will be sharing more into the rules and regulations.
Yeah, I'll go through it with the guidelines, rules and regulations afterwards. We haven't forgotten about that.
Yes, because for everyone at home, I think you can ask from your parents to buy a drone from Hobby Gang, but before you operate, you make sure that you know the rules and regulations before you operate. And if your parents are operating beyond the rules and regulations, do remind them as well.
Yeah.
Alright, Mr. William, maybe we can.
Is there anything, Adam, you'd like to add on your part before we go into the video?
Yeah, just we're really looking forward to creating more events in the future, and we're also actually looking into bringing our drone racing as a sport down to the I think school programs, yeah, where we would like to see inter-school racing championships in the future.
Thank you very much. So, boys and girls, thank you very much again to Adam and Adrian. They have been such a big, contributor in the drone enthusiast and also commercial market. And we hope they will continue with our young ones.
Yes. So, if you have interest in this, go and talk to your parents, go and talk to your teachers. Go to the Facebook page of MUDAS or Stand for All Center, get in touch with us, and we'll get you in touch with all these relevant people to get you to start your drone journey. Alright? And before Mr. William go and start his sharing on rules and regulations, make sure you listen carefully. Some of the questions later is going to come from there, and this is what you are. You can win. If not, I'm gonna bring this home and give it to my kids. So yeah, please listen in. Please listen in, everyone at home.
Okay, I won't be too long on this one, but some of the points. Can we go back to the slides? We'll show you the slides here for the US regulations in Malaysia itself. Now, we don't want to have a situation where it is going to be like a pasar malam ride up there. So there are certain things that we need to adhere to, and tackling drones in Malaysia is actually one of the key things which our lead agency, which is the Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia, as you can see here, they are only concerned about one thing, just one thing, the safety of everybody. And you have to realize that it is so important that when we fly, we have to fly responsibly. So CAM is the Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia, and they look after our interests in terms of safety. So we have to look at how we fly, where we fly. So this is actually some of the excerpts from taken out from at that time was DCA, Department of Civil Aviation. Now, of course, they've come to CAM. And you can see here they have a lot of distance rules. So these distance rules are basically for your good and also the good for the people that fly, that are around you. Those people who are related or unrelated to your flight operations. So when you have a graph here which says the distance between takeoff and landing. I won't go into the distances, but you can actually gather from the visual here that it is very important. One key point I would say is that you're not allowed to fly over crowds. So that is important. The definition of crowds would be actually based on the scenario that if people cannot escape from a situation, if they're in crowded areas, they cannot escape from a situation, then that is what is considered a crowd. So you've got to be mindful of that. All right. So we look at the MUDA's guidelines here. We've had this up for a few years already, and this is not it's not just taken from the air, not taken from us, but taken from the relevant agencies, primarily from CEM, JUPAM, MCMC, and also related agencies. So you can see here, let me just go one by one. These are the cardinal rules here. 400 feet AGL.
120 meters.
120, to be precise, 122 meters, but who's counting the details here? Do not fly above this. You have a zone of flying below this level. Line of sight. LOS means line of sight. In other words, whenever you fly, you must have your eyeballs onto the aircraft. And as Adam was mentioning just now, if you're flying with an FPV, that means with the goggles on your head, you must always, this is critical, you must always have someone beside you to be able to view as a spotter. That's important. All right. Third one, make sure your aircraft is airworthy. That means check the batteries, make sure all are operating normally, so they do not fail you when you really need the aircraft working well. Keep a sufficient distance away from objects or infrastructure like the TNB lines, all these things. If you fly over a transmission tower or TNB line, you may just lose your what do you call it, your communication or your transmission with the drone, and then it'll fly away and you lose a lot of money and it could cause injury. 5 nautical miles away from any aerodrome, that's important to note. Don't fly anywhere around any airports. Of course, my previous point, do not fly above crowded areas. Next one, do not carry hazardous materials or unsafe materials for the aircraft itself. So these are actually some of the very perfect no-brainers over here. And of course, do not fly over restricted areas. Don't fly over dams, over army camps, military areas. Those are all zoned out under the CGSO, which is another agency that looks after the safety and security of our assets in this country. So, coming to the second last one, ensure that the radio frequency is in compliance to MCMC ratings. Right now we have 2.4 and for radio control, for remote control, and 5.8 for video streaming. So you cannot go you cannot go on the 900 series, for instance, because that would interrupt with the GSM networks. So last one, any aerial photography taken from any drone or any platform, it needs the permit from the JUPAM itself. So JUPAM is under the Mapping Directorate. To learn more about them, we will talk about it later, but whenever you fly, you actually need permits to actually undertake aerial photography. So that basically rounds it up. Just my last point here that I'd like to mention is, please fly responsibly. This is very, very critical. Use your knowledge and skills, and of course, yes, common sense. And just a last point here, whenever you buy a drone, ensure that it has the MCMC logo, because this means that you're in compliance with the material or the drones that you actually purchase. Mm-hmm. So it's very, very important. And I just want to show you this. This is drones can be a very, very wonderful thing, especially for the groom as a hantaran, you know. So this is something very, very I thought it was a novel thing to share with you guys. But I'd like to end it off by saying 5 things. Educate yourself. Yes. All right. Regulate yourself. It means control what you do. Collaborate with each other. Join us. Join any drone peers or clubs or whatever, and don't just do it alone. You come and we'll share ideas and also show you how things are done. Yes. Be proactive. Always go out there and try to actually be what do you call it? Contribute ideas as well. Yes. Don't just give, but don't just take but give as well.
Yes.
Alright? And of course, I would say by insurance, there are drone insurance policies out there which are necessary to actually protect the pilots as well. So that's very important.
Yeah, but for the kids out there, I think what we want to stress here is that I think if you can see, out there, everyone is flying drones.
Yes.
At home, at their kampong, at their schools, and there are rules around that. However, I think similar to the rules implemented for cars or motorcycles by JPJ, for example. But in kampong, we still see people don't wear their helmets in the kampong, right?
Yes.
So similar to drones as well. Of course, as a principle, you need to have permits to fly. However, trying for the regulators trying to ensure that everyone abide by the rule is going to be really, really difficult. So which is why starting from home, starting from school, we need to use our common sense. We need to know what are the rules and regulations. If you need to fly at your school, you just make sure you know that the situation is safe for you to fly, right?
Yes.
And I think more important, there's a message that I want to share. Because previously when I was at school, we don't learn. There was no drones before. There were computer clubs, there were robotics club, and now you have drones.
Yes.
So and applications for drones and robotics are endless. So I think this is what drones can in the future. We want the school students try to explore what are the future applications that they can use these drones for. Now, if you are in Felda, for example, or in areas in Kedah, there are applications for you to use your drones for spraying, right?
Yes.
And I think that can be a career choice for you in the future, right? But this is where we want to explore. We want to show you that these are your future career options that you can explore, and for you to know how all this works. We want to bring all this drone information to your school by all these programs that we are building together with MUDAS, together with Stanford Center, and together with KLESF. This is for you, because the future for drones is here already. So within the next few years, when you graduate, you are going into the drone industry out there.
Yeah.
So I think you let us know whatever you want to ask. If you want to learn more, you get in touch with us. We will be more than helpful to try to get you and give you whatever information that you need.
Don't go back just yet. We still want to show you the drone racing video which Adam is prepared for us.
Yes.
And we'll go into that. Then after that, we'll sum up.
We'll wrap up. Yes. Hold on.
All right.
Don't go anywhere.
This is the 2016 Eco World Multi-GP Drone Racing Championship happening here at the Bukit Bintang City Centre, Kuala Lumpur. We are pumped, we are excited, so get ready for some non-stop high-powered drone racing action.
Working and bringing drones to Malaysia is a little dream come true. From becoming just a hobby, it's becoming a legitimate sport. It started out in the US and now spreading throughout the entire globe. And we want it to become a legitimate sport here in Malaysia.
I've not known so much about drone racing until I put on the goggles, and it's amazing. It requires a lot of agility in the mental reflexes. So we would like to encourage this because we see all the positive aspects of drone racing and drone as a hobby, that we'll be very happy to be part of building this sport.
And there you go, with that, the Eco World Multi-GP Drone Racing Championship right here in BBCC is officially launched. The racers have had a busy morning, having a practice run. Right after this, it's qualifying. It's all about to go down and right here in BBCC Bukit Bintang. Here's the list of our 51 registered pilots in the competition. Only the fastest 32 will make it through qualifying for the main races later.
Multi-GP, are you ready?
Wow, so there you have it, our top 32 pilots who made it through and qualified for the main races. Fastest time went to pilot Zul Ihsan Farid from Malaysia with a best time of 18.63 seconds. This rounds up the top 4 qualifying positions, making up the top 32 who made it through to the main races.
Alright guys,
Yep.
this is almost at the end. Okay, William, maybe you can share how they can win these fantastic prizes before we go.
I believe the link has just been opened up for the Win and Watch contest. Please go to our Stamp for All Makerspace in FB, in Facebook, and click on it, and you'll come across 10 questions. 9 questions are which are objective questions. 1 question will be a subjective question. So please do your best, and we'll have the competition open until noon tomorrow, and results will be late afternoon tomorrow at 4:30. Please tune in again, and that's it on the competition. And remember, I'm holding this. I'd like to give this away.
Yes, exactly. So you make sure, but it's open for school students only, right? Because I saw there's a lot of grown-ups in the YouTube.
Grown-ups have their kids, right?
Yes. So grown-ups, make sure your kids answer the questions and not you, so that they can win these awesome prizes. And I think that's almost all from us. So I think thank you so much for everyone for being with us today. And we really hope everyone had a lot of things that they can learn from our today's session. And we hope everyone will, everyone is still at home.
Yes.
And most of them, I think, they're still not going to school. So you can tell your parents, get these prizes, or go to Achai's Hobby Gang Facebook and buy the smaller drones for them to play at home.
Yes.
Because if you play at home inside the house, you don't have to have a permit, right?
Yeah.
So and we want to look forward to 2021. We want to have more drone competitions. We want to have more drone racing. We want to have more programs for regarding drones to school students, right? And look forward to it. Keep in touch with us, and we'll see you guys next year.
Yeah. Shout out to everyone out there. Thank you for your viewing, and also thanks Farhan for setting up some time for us.
No problem.
And also Adam and Adrian, my gratitude.
Maybe next year we'll have some young kids, drone pilots to come and join us on this session as well.
Yes. Yes.
All right, everyone. That's all from us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have fun. Stay safe. Stay at home, and play your drones at home. Bye.
Signing out.